Natafam David has come a long way. We create different platforms for different sectors. We have the agricultural sector, we have logistics, we have facility management platform. We also have educational platform where we discuss issues that help in the growth of Nigerian economy and individuals. Today we are presenting to you a team that we term Minding the Gap, agribusiness sectors, growth trajectory, and emerging technology. And we have experts here that will handle these topics, different topics with us. We have as our speakers here Ambassador Uche Ajulu Okeke. Ambassador Uche Ajulu Okeke is a lead advisor for Deep Consult. And she's going to take us on a very interesting and educative, informative topic. When the time comes, I will introduce that. And I have also Mr. Shehu Adegoke. He's the managing director of SGL Farms. And lastly, but not the least, we have my my CEO, Mr. Kenneth Odushola Stevenson, who is the CEO for Natafam David Consulting. You are welcome. So before we start this conversation, I want to say that if you have any question during the conversation, please just type it on the message box. Just type it there. We are going to pick it up and handle it in due course. For a little introduction, I want to say that, of course, the Nigerian agricultural sector some time ago became resilient, a sustainer of the economy of this country. But after a while, attention was shifted to the oil because we found oil in this country, and everybody now decided to go there to start tapping the resources we have in the oil sector and all that. But we thank God because we have come to realize that it is actually agriculture that can sustain our economy. With that little introduction, I want to introduce formally our speakers. I want to introduce Ambassador Uche Ajulu. Your Excellency, you're welcome once again. A little introduction on Uche Ajulu. Uche Ajulu is a veteran diplomat and development studies expert in a 30-year high network achievement ratio and responsible management level experience in the Nigerian Foreign Service. Having meritoriously attained the highly coveted office of Under Secretary Africa until her appointment as ambassador and Nigeria's first female ambassador, consul general. He is an accomplished professional personnel widely known for her performance orientation, positive mentorship, and team spirit. During her tenure as consul general, Ambassador Ajulu Okeke severally earned accolades in her exemplary stewardship and handling of Nigerian-South Africa relations, the Nigerian community in South Africa, the SADC region, corporate South Africa, and the public at large. In recognition of these competencies and cognate global exposure, the Anambra State government appointed Uche Ajulu to serve in various capacities wherein she proffered high-level select policy consult for the state government and ABGA, the ruling political party, before relocating to the United States of America. She's a courageous high flyer. Ambassador Ajulu, on her retirement, broke new frontiers and established Deep Consult, a first-rate select diplomatic advisory service proffering valued strategic policy initiatives to policymakers and non-government organizations, displaying commendable crisis management, negotiations, and communication skills. Her social responsibility. For the Albino Foundation of Nigeria, Uche Ajulu Okeke is a life patron, a distinguished role model and beacon of hope whose resilient inner strength propelled her to the zenith of a brilliant career overcoming the disability and stereotype associated with albinism. Her commitment and support in creating pathways and development opportunities for the underprivileged in underserved rural communities in her locale has endeared her to her kinsmen and earned her respect, cultural honors, other interests. An increasing area of interest for Ambassador Chajulo Keke is in supply chain logistics management and shipping services for package handling and delivery. She also owns CASA, Madonna Lodge Home Away from Home, an exclusive bed and breakfast facility in Oka, Nigeria. Ambassador, Your Excellency, you are welcome to this conversation. Thank you so much. I'm going to introduce Mr. Degoke when he comes in. He's yet to join us. And then my CEO, Mr. Kenneth Odushola. Mr. Kenneth Odushola is, I have the pleasure to introduce him. He's a seasoned journalist, broadcaster, HR and HC and management expert. He's the CEO of Nataf and David Consulting, Nigeria Limited. He also the CEO of Century 21 System, Inside Business Africa, Construction and Engineering Digest magazine. Mr. Kenneth Odushola, you are welcome, sir. Without taking much of our time, I want to invite Mr. Kenneth Odushola to do an opening to this conversation. Thank you very much. Mr. Kenneth Odushola.
Let me welcome everyone to this platform and to this conversation on agribusiness as Nigeria celebrates 60. Most importantly, like I want to give you a very short background as to where we got here. Just with the mainstay of the nation's economy, pre-colonial regime, and also around the 1960s, early 60s. However, oil, and even up to today contributing 90% to the country's GDP. And that to me is a misnomer, because all over the world, even the United States, where they have oil, even more deposit than in Nigeria, agriculture remains the most important sector to that economy and to the country. For me, I believe that several governments after independence and after we found oil have tried to do something to change the narratives about the agriculture sector. And even up to today, even to the president, to the current president of Nigeria, Muhammadu Buhari. If I can mention some of the major milestones and initiatives of government, I believe that it was during the period of Obasanjo as the military head of state that he formed the Operation Feed the Nation. Operation Feed the Nation, fantastic idea, but then policies that came to be were not a solution that has been adopted by the African Union, as a matter of fact. But as we speak now, the Green Revolution of Nigeria, we don't even know what is being done about it. And we'll then come to every government since 1999 had to do one thing or the other by appointing very seasoned professionals into the agribusiness, agricultural sector in terms of the ministries. I think the prominent amongst this was the current president of African Development Bank, Mr. Adesina, who did extremely well by changing the narratives and also increasing the potentials of the agricultural sector in Nigeria and bringing about the kind of interest that is currently being generated in the industry. And today, being the president, possibly because he studied agriculture, really, he was an agricultural economist. And that's where that comes to a situation where we talk about where you put the round peg in the round hole, you get the best result. And today is being celebrated even by the World Food Program, the Food and Agriculture Organization, FAO, all over the world, for what he has done within the agricultural sector. Even as he's in the African Development Bank, he is also still propagating agricultural development in Africa. And he has budgeted so much money and so much resources, and a lot of research is being done by African Development Bank to actually grow the agricultural sector across the African continent. That is to tell you that someone who knows the audience should be in charge. Now, coming to the current government, because if we say we go to all the government, we're going to be spending so much time here. The current government has also also done a few things, starting from what the last government left behind by appointing Mr. Audu Ogbe, who is also a farmer, as Minister of Agriculture. He did his own very best, and quite a number of initiatives, anchor borrowers program, a lot of facilities were done. But for me, I believe that the only way agriculture can play its role in Nigeria is to look at agriculture as a corporate entity. What is important about it is that smallholder farmers should be recognized and also be given the necessary leave to be able to play well. Because at the end of the day, the smallholders farmer, wherever they may be today, developing whatever produce they are doing, they see themselves as maybe a pastime thing. They see the agriculture as still maybe not just a hobby, not a business. And I believe that in the process of trying to encourage them was why the government set up the Anchor Borrowers Program, CBN initiatives, and all of that. However, the missing link in those programs is the fact that there is no corporatization in terms of the initiatives. The these smallholders farmers should be given the opportunity to set up as businesses by way of, yes, they know they have the small village sense that they used to run their businesses, but then when they are going to play well in the agricultural industry by also exporting and also the kind of things that we do, we need to encourage smallholders farmers, because the smallholder farmers with potatoes and all of these things that are coming from all over the country, these are smallholders farmers that are turning them out, and they are doing very well. So the encouragement being given to them should further be enhanced by making it possible for them to see agriculture as a business, and therefore they can see themselves as an entrepreneur, and then their children, who are currently, many of them have graduates now, can see themselves as taking over these businesses. Because you see someone who is a farmer who cannot pass on the business to his children, it's simply because he still believes that it's a pastime. But if the business is doing well, if actually there is something to write home about it, the son or the daughter would like to take up that business from there. Today we have Dangote investing heavily in agriculture. Of course, the children are already handling some of the outfits. We see Boa Group investing in agriculture. Also, the children are taking over from there. But what happened to the smallholder farmers? We need to encourage them to see their operations as an enterprises. Therefore, they can do well. Now, we do know that the pandemic has brought about some kind of hardship to agriculture sector. I'd like to talk about the policy of government. Government also need to, prepare a level playing field. A lot of initiative that the federal government of Nigeria did so many things from China to Brazil to everywhere. But what happened to those civil servants? The FADAMA projects of today, there are so many civil servants that have gone all over the world to go and understudy some of these kind of things in China. Where are they? Can they not be brought into government in terms of as consultant to actually be able to help? Because in terms of investment in human capital, federal government through the civil service must have done a lot in terms of investment in human capital that can actually bring about the growth in the agriculture sector. But are those people playing their role? Are they retired and staying at home? Knowledge is power. So those people can be sourced for and then bring them out to add to this narrative in terms of agricultural development in Nigeria. That will help the nation play a great deal. I was speaking with one of them yesterday, who actually said his own talk is about this cassava pellet. The cassava pellet, we have a client in Ogun State that is into cassava processing. And sometimes we ask him, what does he do with the pellet? He said he just threw them away. So you can't throw away cassava pellet, because cassava pellet can be used for other waste products, can be used to develop other things. So the opportunities in the agricultural sector is enormous, and the potential is also there. And people are already playing in the industry. They only need encouragement. The smallholder farmers only needs to be given the opportunity to know that they are running businesses. And also those people giving out loans. You don't just give loans to people without follow-up. All right, you want to follow up because you want them to pay back the loan. Therefore, what kind of support mechanism are you giving to them to be able to see the fact that they can pay back? We know that there are so many organizations, like that we have Agribusiness in Ibadan that is doing exceedingly well in terms of poultry industry. Today they are expanding the operations. Billions of dollars are being spent on this particular project. That means the industry is extremely important to Nigeria, and government needs to just at least maybe use one of the eye. We have two eyes, right? Use one to go to the agriculture. Don't use all the eye to focus on the two eyes, and focus on the oil, because oil, what's it all about? We are talking about gas now. So what's going to happen? All right, because the federal government itself is coming up with gas after increasing the tariff on petroleum, and they're talking about asking people to convert their vehicle to gas. So what may then happen? So what are we going to do afterwards? So there's a need to actually look at agriculture on a very high level.
Okay, sorry about that. I think he's having some network challenges. It's been raining all day. I know that he was talking about encouraging the small scale. Well, okay, he's back. Mute him. Can you unmute him, please? Unmute me.
Okay, so I guess I was able to wrap up the conversation before the network, right?
Yes, sir. Okay, so you are done with. Okay, he was trying to say that the small scale farmers should be encouraged. The government should be able to put things in place for them to strive. And we also should be able to see agriculture as business and not just farming or trying to live a subsistence kind of life, but make it a business, so that even our children will be able to also start from where we are or where we have stopped. Thank you so much for that intro. At this moment, I want to invite Ambassador, Her Excellency, Ambassador Uche Ajulu. Okay.
Thank you.
Okay. Yeah, Ambassador is going to look at transforming Nigeria's agricultural chain. She'll look at financing, technology, and innovation. You are welcome, ma'am.
Thank you very much, Nata Farm Consult. I do not agree that Nigeria has made giant strides in agriculture, considering the natural resources with which the country is endowed. I actually think the country has regressed in agriculture, put from the interest of government, and that government has abandoned its citizens and concentrated on oil, where agriculture and agribusiness is concerned. And where there has been advances in agribusiness, government has become a major frustrating partner, and those advances in agribusiness have been solely on individual effort. If government had provided the enabling climate, that the Nigerian agricultural sector would have been leaps and bounds. We cannot be celebrating agriculture when the groundnut pyramids have disappeared, cocoa has disappeared, and the palm oil plantations, we are a net importer of vegetable oils. So I think that government needs to deregulate agriculture thoroughly. And the first thing that I would advocate for government to do is that they should deregulate the electricity sector in agriculture by making power free for big farmers and aiding them in getting sustainable power, which is a major in providing sustainability in agribusiness. The Anchor Borrowers Program has exacerbated the polity and heated up the polity, because it was used as an election tool, and its distribution was highly skewed and highly favored. And some segments of the country got more than the others, and some segments of the country did not get at all, and have continued to become an instrument of political patronage, where political farmers get more than the actual farmers. And government agricultural policy has also become a major instrument of division in the country, because some parts of the country don't get. They advertise all these large loans that you can get this, you can get that. And when you go to access it from Calabar, from Moka, from Abakaliki, from Yenegoa, they say, oh, the people from Abuja has not come. The forms have not come from Abuja. The trainer has to come from Abuja. So it's only the Abuja people and the Lagos people and the people that are close by to those centers of power that have a sense of derivative in the anchor borrowers program and the various loans of the federal government. Accessing these loans have actually become a major disincentive for patriotic citizens and has become a factor that has heated up the policy. I know that there are farmers here who can attest to various levels of government frustrations. So I do not agree that we have anything to celebrate. And I do not agree that we have any awards to be given. And I do not agree that 60 years after independence that we are making strides in the industrial sector. I would rather say that government has become a major disincentive to the development of the agricultural space, and that the former boost given to agriculture in the 60s has disappeared. Pumping money into the agricultural sector, you say central government loan this, that loan that, COVID loan this, pandemic that. Pumping money into the agriculture is not the same thing as providing the enabling environment for agriculture to thrive. And so for me, pumping money into the agricultural sector has exacerbated corruption, created a big layer of political farmers in Nigeria, where you have the politicians that have gone into farming. And the easiest way for a civil servant and for a politician to steal is to go into farming. When you steal public funds, you plow it into agriculture. So it is not sustainable. But most of the people that have gone into large scale agriculture has not been sustainable. And you look at the so-called mega agriculturists, Dangote and all these things that we mentioned, those were people who were able to leapfrog into political farming because government gave them monopolies. They were able to become monopoly from political privilege and connections that killed the spirit of indigenous competition. They were at a point the only people allowed to import rice, at a point the only people allowed to import sugar. So those monopolies killed and stifled internal competition. So there are no heroes. I do not agree that we should play ostrich politics and say that there are heroes and awards in agriculture when we have actually not done a critique of the continuing policies of disincentive policies of government. The major frustration of the corporate private sector in Nigeria, small scale farmers who on their own and sheer dint of effort have tried to leverage farming. Now, one of the reasons why the small business farming, as Mr. The publisher was mentioned, Stevenson, has gone down. Now, this is what used to be a tradition, a way of life, a culture. Our lives revolved around farming. And what government did was to kill it. You go for fertilizer, you will queue up all day. Fertilizer is like pension, you will not get. It is hijacked by civil servants and sold. And so agriculture became a disincentive. And they did not plow proper money into agriculture and elevate agriculture. Agriculture was looked down on as the poor man's job. And so you will see a farmer who has used farming to train his children, but who every day goes to church to pray for his child to get a white collar government job. Because even the Nigerian farmer, the rural farmer, does not see farming as what he wants his son to do. So he does not see his farm as what he could bequeath to his children. You tell a Nigerian farmer that he will bequeath his land to his, he say, oh, a rural farmer, I say, God forbid bad thing. Your child will be in Lagos, my own will be doing farming in the village. It is because of the mindset of the government and the attitude of the government that has made that scenario. Anything that has been achieved by the private sector from sheer dint of effort. So I would like us to concentrate and encourage and look at those middle level private sector farmers that have on their own, without the frustrations of government, leveraged and gone into farming. Those are the real heroes. Don't come here to tell me about Dangote and all those other big names that used government political privilege and monopoly to stifle Nigerian local domestic competition and grow on the threshold of others. And you tell me that there are big names in agriculture. I do not agree with that. Where are the groundnut pyramids? Where are the plantations? Where are the cocoa farms? Government in the 1960s. What is the difference between the 1960s government and the 1980 government? The 1960s government was a government that belonged to the people. The 1990s government is a predator state. It's a predator government that will tell its citizens, oh, come and take loan. Oh, come and take fertilizer. They will announce it in the papers and the people will never get. So it's a predator state. So these are my views. I do not think that for now there are any heroes in agriculture for the mega farmers, the political farmers. Rather, we should look for a small scale farmer that has been able to put food on our tables in the market. And that is increasingly being threatened by the herdsmen, the marauding bandits and herdsmen. There is emerging hunger in the land. The small scale farmer, which is the bedrock of our domestic sustenance, is threatened. The small scale farmer goes to the farm, she's raped, she's killed in her farmland. The small scale farmer no longer has the privilege of rising early from her home, going to farm to roast the yams she will eat and have breakfast in the farm. The small scale rural farmer no longer have the traditional privilege of during the New Yam Festival counting yams in their thousands and showing traditional pride of what they have been able to produce. Insecurity has taken that away. People can no longer go to the farms. The farms have become a place of horror. And now that insecurity has taken away this traditional small-scale farming homestead, what is now emerging is the middle class agri-farms, agribusiness farms. That is what is emerging now, because those ones have some modicum of leverage from government. The traditional woman who goes with a pan on her head in the morning to provide the baseline sustenance for majority of Nigerian families is gradually losing it. These are my thoughts for now. I do not agree that there are heroes in agriculture. And for government to be moving into gas because the oil or fossil fuels is no more a major and is being phased out by the technological powers. The government should equally, as they are investing in gas, the very first thing government should do is to invest in fire management equipment, because gas is highly explosive. You put everybody in gas, or change all your cars to gas, and the next thing you are on the go slow in Lagos and somebody hits you from the back and the two cars explode. That is what you are going to begin to see all over the place. Investment in gas without any commensurate investment in fire management. These are my thoughts for now. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much, Ambassador Uche Ajulu-Okeke, for these insights. She said that there's nothing to celebrate in agriculture because, well, the government has failed us, and they are actually, it has even become a political issue, you know, providing some resources to farmers. She mentioned areas where fertilizer is given, and the small scale farmers they don't get them, and they are only given to people in the urban areas like Lagos and Abuja. The government should please step up and do the needful. Let these small scale farmers be also beneficiaries in some of the things that they need to carry out in their farming activities. But in spite of this, we know that there are some people that have actually come up in this farming business, in agribusiness, that are thriving very well. A lot of them, I can even talk about those people that are even here, like the SGL farms, e-farms, that are doing so much to engage our youth to also engage some other people that have resources but do not even know how to use these resources. They engage them in the farming, they finance some of these farming projects, and at the end of the day, they also earn from it. So in as much as the government has actually failed us in this area, I know that we also have cause to celebrate those who have done well in this area. Thank you so much, Ambassador Uche Ajulu.
But moderator, you will recall that I said that the people that are to be celebrated are the middle class corporate Nigerians who have gone into farming on their own, without the frustrations of government. Those are the class of people in the SGL farms and the other groups you mentioned.
If green farms, yes, we have different.
I would like those people to tell you the amount of frustrations that they received from government. So what is to be celebrated is their determination and their insistence of forging ahead in spite of the machinations of the predator state, which Nigeria has become. So they are the ones they are the heroes.
Of course, these are the ones we are celebrating, and not the government. We are celebrating individuals. We are celebrating private farm owners who, in spite of all odds, are forging ahead to make sure that farming is not extinct in Nigeria. Thank you so much. We just take a short break now, and we'll just take a short break. So Mr. Shewa Adegoke is the MD of SGL Farms, and he's coming up also to look at rice revolution in Nigeria. Please, Mr. Shewa Adegoke, please, can you come up? Thank you.
Good morning. Thank you for having me, and good morning, good people. My name is Shewa Adegoke. Sorry, I've been on the farm, so to get a hold of me is not always exactly easy.
Under the rain.
But I was actually able to get 1 or 2 points from the speakers before I went offline, and I have to say, especially Madam
Uche Ajulu
or something.
Madam Uche Ajulu.
Yes.
Ambassador Uche Ajulu.
Everything about it. Yes. Okay, sorry about that, Ambassador. I think she said it all, as regards challenges farmers are facing and all of that, and the hypocrisy of, politicians and government as a whole. But, even at that, I guess we still need to, try to see opportunities where everything seems to be possible. So that's actually the zeal some of us have and the passion. Because in Nigeria, a businessman might not exactly succeed as a farmer, but maybe the passion is actually what could drive you. And in the real sense of it, farming itself should be treated as a business, not just as a passion. But government does everything, almost everything, to frustrate you. These so-called days of doing business in Nigeria, I don't even know where that is, actually effective in Nigeria. You talk about multiple taxations, government doesn't even know if you are performing. The most important thing is just to tax you. And in the real sense, it is when you are able to perform that you can create, reasonable value to the larger society. I'm saying this basically because I have to express my grievances. And, we've been on some agri-loan now for the past 12 months. I don't know if you're waiting for 12 months to plant rice, and you can't even get this loan in 12 months when you want to plant and when you want to harvest. So obviously, and then the next speaker after her also spoke of cost of production. It's very unfortunate, very, very unfortunate, because eventually, when you're looking to hire a tractor, for some of us that are being large experts of land, it will now be cheaper to go and buy a tractor simply because the costs are crazy. And these are ways ways where we expect government to come in. You go to the United States, like you see people buying these tools and they're able to pay back over a period of 10 years. Well, I'll give it to government, especially the revolution on rice farming. But for rice production itself, the farming is just a phase of the whole production chain. You know, of course, there is also the land preparation, there is the farming, then of course the milling. I think we're getting there gradually in Nigeria. The only challenges basically are just the cost of production and maybe the quality of seeds we are having. I think there's still a lot of room for improvement. I've not seen any rice species in Nigeria that can conveniently give you 10 ton per hectares conveniently. Of course, you see a lot of things in the adverts because people want to sell rice, but that hasn't happened in Nigeria. Whereas we have in some countries where they have varieties that can give them as much as 16 tons, yield per hectare. I think the average we have in Nigeria is just about 3 to 4 tons per hectare. So when somebody is spending almost the same amount of money, getting 16 tons, and you are getting maybe 4 or 3 tons, definitely you would need to, also look at your cost before you sell out your produce. And in that way, rice might become expensive. It's just the truth. So government and maybe businessmen and private bodies needs to also work. We need to improve seeds that are good for our own, environment, our soils that will be, very compatible. Progress, right? But definitely 4 ton compared to, way to go. Even Lagos State government had a very bad blunder. Growing rice in KB, setting up the rice mill in Lagos was a very bad business decision. If Lagos wants to own a rice mill or whatever, they can as well have the rice mill in KB and just bring in the processed rice to Lagos. After all, the money comes into the covers of Lagos State government. There are some things you do, you don't consider political interpretation to them. You have to first of all consider the value creation. Now you can see the immortalized mill now is moribund because the move was totally wrong. So unless we take out politics and people can genuinely love Nigeria, then well, hopefully the future looks bright because maybe younger people like us will have to take over when we're tired of what people with the old ideas are doing. We talk about agri loans, but I'm so surprised that a lot of farmers from the north, because I have always believed that these agri loans are being channeled to farmers in the north because we don't get much in the south. When you talk about subsidy on fertilizers, the government will announce a fake price. You don't actually get fertilizers for those prices. I don't know the mafias behind these things, but they are the reality and they are very painful and they hurt because you see announcement of fertilizers for 5,000 naira, but the recent down here in the south you see about 8,000. And we've always had the impression that the farmers in the north are the ones getting these benefits, but it's actually a lie. I have a whole lot of farmers in the north begging me for loans, and I get to wonder that. But the loans that government announces have been channeled to the north. That's the expression, the impression we are given, but it's not so. So wherever these monies are being taken to diverted to, well, I guess posterity will judge us on. But on our own part, I think we are making reasonable progress. We're striving hard, and yes, so far so good. People are now coming out. But agriculture, because to make sense, you need to talk about volume, and to go above volume, you need to talk about massive investment. But so far so good. I would say the story is has been the one of fun and interesting. But I definitely believe it can get better. And just like I was discussing with someone yesterday, when there was this COVID-19 outbreak in the United States, the U.S. government didn't leave it all to pharmaceutical companies to go and produce drugs. The government released about $8 billion for research on drugs. So Nigeria, you cannot exactly expect, businessmen alone to be doing researches on seed improvement. No, that's to be the government that will lead the way, at least because, research costs a lot. There are a lot of trial and errors in research, but it's only government that can lead the way so that those who are financing this research, even if some are failing, there will still be government support. Of course, there are some, dubious characters in Nigeria, people that are even supposed to be using these monies meant for researches. They go about buying cars and buying houses, and eventually we shoot ourselves in the leg. There are stuffs like that. But I think we need to work together. 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 We need But if I were a businessman, if I'm giving something, I believe I would not just give them money. I can't just give money because that's the excuse government gives at some level. That when we release this money to some research people, they just filter it away. But if it's your own personal money, I believe you would have some sort of solid memorandum of understanding, some cross-checking. You can't possibly release all the money at once. Maybe in bits to see the progress of work that is being done. But things are changing, but there's still a lot, a lot. I said it the last time we had a webinar that I can only rate Nigeria 2% in agriculture, and I'm happy someone is buttressing that point because agriculture is beyond the grammars. If I would employ somebody now to work with me on the farm, I'd rather employ a farmer than even maybe a professional agronomist who just studied in school, who has not ever even been to the farm. Because the reality of the book and the practical is totally different. They are almost at contrast. Because somebody maybe had a research about 50 years ago, and that has been recycled in the syllabus, is probably what many of our own agronomists are having. But you have to talk about people who are really on the field, who are on the farm, who see it all, not just sitting down in the comfort of your office and dishing out. So government needs to do a lot, a whole lot. And of course, the companies as well, they are doing their best, and we can only keep trying. And government needs to give us a break. All these double taxations and threatening, they're just suffocating. It's because when somebody is running for about 10,000 acres, and instead of allowing us to focus and even ask us, what are you doing? How can we support you? On the part of government is just so focused about taxes, about deductions, about payments, about all of this. They don't even care if we are doing what we are supposed to do. Government is not even giving us any leverage. Believe it. But the reality is so different. We need to clean with ourselves and, try to be honest. Then food importation in Nigeria will not stop. There's absolutely no quality of rice that we might not be able to grow in Nigeria. But the problem lies with the milling. And this is about a massive investment, very, very massive. We're talking about hundreds of millions of dollars to do a proper milling, not just halfway milling. There's a lot of stages in milling that would be able to compete with rice. At least if we're getting 100% products from Thailand, if Nigeria can still be able to get like 98%, of that quality, it will not be bad. Nigerians will not exactly want to eat foreign rice if the quality of rice we have in Nigeria can compete. That's why, personally, for me, I'm not exactly in support of border closure. I believe very much in competing. So if you have the right environment, you can compete. It is only competition that can make a company sustainable. Unsustainable government policy, closing border, stopping importation of tomatoes, and all of that. People will still find a way to smuggle in these things. It's just the reality. But if government can encourage and support us to now compete in terms of quality, then by the time I know that I can get rice in Nigeria, even if it's the same price with the one of Thailand, but I can get it, without the stress of having to run through custom fears or police or whatever, then, and the quality is the same. I don't think any reasonable person would want to, stress themselves. But when the quality is not the same, then people will look because it is their money. And if I'm paying my money for any product, I believe I need to get the value. So we definitely just need to plant. The milling is not what we are doing right now. Of course, we are looking forward to that in the future. But right now, it's just a plan. So when we hand it over to the millers, they don't have as much equipment to mill. Right now, as I'm talking to you, now very few companies and farmers in Nigeria can even dare to start planting now because we are talking about irrigation, dry season farming. And most of these companies, when they millers, when they get loans from banks, maybe double-digit loans, then they are not even getting enough sustained supplies during the dry season. So the only supplies they get maybe during the rainy season and the harvest time is where they have to bank all their costs of production on. Most times their machines will be lying to waste during the dry season. We have a lot of good fertile lands in Nigeria, very good. When experts coming from abroad, they get disappointed when they see green land not being put to use. So for how long are we going to continue this? I believe there's still a lot of way to go, but definitely, if we don't give up, and if government tries to put a more humane face to things, try to actually look out for the real farmers, not like she said earlier, the political farmers, then the sky will definitely be the limit. Thank you very much, and thank you for having me because I need to rush out again. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Mr. Adegoke, Shewa Adegoke of SGL Farms. He's spoken so well, and if I was actually, I was just wrapped up in his talk that I almost forgot he was saying he had finished talking, because I was actually, it was very informative and very pathetic what the farmers are facing in this country, the challenges we're facing. In fact, one of the things he said, which is actually where Ambassador Ajulu was going, is the fact that fertilizers are released in this country to be distributed from the north to the south, and people purchase these fertilizers. There are variations in prices. And why should that be? Why should fertilizer be sold to the north at a lesser price, and then the south suffer the high cost of it? And even most places in the south, you don't even get these fertilizers to buy. It's very unfortunate that some of these things are politicized. It's very unfortunate that the agricultural sector is not giving the needed attention they need to actually strive. The right environment is not given to them. And from what he's saying, milling of the rice, they don't have the capacity to actually mill as much as needed for it to circulate in this country. And he was talking about taxation, that they are being taxed and they are not sensitive to the environment they are working in. Infrastructures are not given to them, yet these farmers are being taxed, or agribusiness people are being taxed without providing the right infrastructures for them to work. These are some of the things that affect them in their production. And we hope, like what he said, they will continue to try. We hope that we'll continue to thrive until we have the right people in place of governance that will help farmers to thrive successfully. Thank you so much, Mr. Adegoke. We call up Mr. Stevenson to say one or two things.
Okay, thank you very much. I've been following up on the conversation, and from the ambassador's perspective, and also the rights revolution has been discussed, and also to the last speaker who just spoke, but you are still trying to get him to wrap up his conversation. It's been an interesting conversation on agriculture, and I believe that this conversation cannot be enough. We will continue to have this series. I think this is the second one that is being done in the agriculture, especially this year. And we still have one more to go before the end of the year. But what is important is the fact that we believe that Nigerian government needs to do a lot more. Crop protection is also one of the things I wanted to mention, because the smallholder farmers, like I keep saying, they are the most populated entrepreneurs in this industry, so they need to be encouraged. Then you see also, I do know that civil servants are allowed to own farms. So, and if they are doing it very well, I do understand there are so many of these civil servants that own farms, both in poultry and other farm produce. They are doing very well. So why wouldn't they be able to assist the smallholders farmers to also do it as entrepreneurs? We believe that sometimes the civil servants believe that they are doing it as pastime. But I can tell you, one of the biggest farmers in this country today is a senator of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. And what is important is that this business is a big business, and we should look at it as such. And this business can also earn a lot of revenue for Nigeria in terms of taxation. So it shouldn't be seen as something that is not as big as the oil. It's as big as the oil, even bigger. So my final take here is to government officials who are on this platform now, to ensure that we do agriculture the way agriculture should be done. Like I keep saying, corporatization of agriculture is the way to go. And that we must pursue as much as possible. Thank you very much. And let me use this opportunity now to congratulate Eve Green. Eve Green is being rewarded today as one of the heroes of agriculture. And I do believe that that particular establishment and that organization has done well in Nigeria in the agriculture business sector, so to speak. Eve Green, congratulations. And all other awardees that are to be rewarded today for their contribution to the agribusiness in Nigeria, we congratulate you.
Well, I think he's actually made a point there. I want to call on Ambassador Uche Ajulu to please round off her point in transforming the agricultural sector in Nigeria, please. Ambassador Uche Ajulu, unmute her, yes. Okay, ma, you're welcome back, ma.
Thank you very much. To round up, I would say that government needs to do one or two things for the agricultural sector. Number one, government should give all proven farmers, not political farmers, proven farmers, looking at one, the number of Nigerians you employ and the number of assistants that you are not a political farmer. They should give them free import license to import tractors. Any proven farmer should be given duty-free access for tractor importation. Number two, farmers should be given fertilizer permits. Farmers proven farmers, I say proven because I want to distinguish them from political farmers, which has spoiled our agricultural terrain. Proven farmers should be given fertilizer permits and licenses to make sure that they get those fertilizers, and that Nigerian fertilizer producers should be compelled mandatorily to supply proven farmers their fertilizer needs. And where that is not done, that such fertilizer producing companies should be penalized. And where that is not done, then proven farmers should be given direct import licenses to import certain regulated quantities of fertilizers that they can be used directly in their farms. They should be given access. Number three, that all proven farmers and especially small-scale farmers should be given complete tax incentive for 10 years. No farmer should pay anything in tax for 10 years. Number four, there should be complete deregulation of the electricity sector in the agribusiness space, so that people who take the trouble to produce these agricultural goods should be able to have free electricity to produce them, so that it's an incentive. Electricity should be given as an incentive for agricultural and agribusiness production. And finally, there should also be equipment loans. Every category of farmers, both small, medium, once you are buying a farming equipment, you should be able to get interest-free 5-year loans from government to procure equipment. If we do these things, we'll be able to produce a sustainable base for our agriculture. I agree with Mr. Stevenson that we have to have the corporatization of agriculture. But many cooperative societies and many businesses will also continue to encounter their frustrations. So I think that your next series should be on how the Corporate Affairs Commission should encourage and create layers of sanctions and rewards and penalties for persons that inhibit or frustrate or militate against the progressive development in agriculture for the agricultural sector. The corporatization of agriculture should be one of the things to focus on. And please, it should include the small-scale farmers, not these same government officials and retired crooks who have hijacked our agricultural sector. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ambassador Uche Ajulu. She has actually made some recommendations that proven farmers, she stressed that word, proven farmers, not political farmers, should be given free import license to import machineries, tractors, and all the machineries they use for farming. That proven farmers should also be given fertilizer permit and license. They should be given fertilizer permit and license, and they should also mandate fertilizer producers to supply fertilizer to farmers. And then that the government should also exempt small-scale farmers from paying tax. They should not be taxing them. They should sub-federal on taxation on small-scale farmers. There should also be complete regulation of electricity to encourage these farmers. Electricity should actually be an incentive to farmers. That is what she's trying to say. And then they should be given equipment interest-free loans for 5 years. They should be giving loan for equipment and it should be interest-free. And then she's also asking us that in our next webinar session or summit, we should look at asking the corporate affairs to encourage and to create sanctions on people that refuse to carry out some of these things she has mentioned to be given to farmers. Thank you so much once again, Ambassador. I'm calling on Mr. Shehu Adegoke, if he's still around, to wrap up his talk. I'm not sure he's back, but I want to say that against all odds, we were able to hold this summit today. Today in Nigeria, it has been raining from the early hours, and network has been very bad. I'm sure a lot of people are yet to get to their offices, probably for them to join this conversation. But it has been a successful one, and we are glad that we were able to conduct our search and give Eve Green investment for an award for their farming activities. They do a lot of production. They aid small youths. They aid youths in farming. They encourage people to invest, and they do a whole lot. So we thank you so much for being part of this conversation today. I thank especially Ambassador Ucha Julu, all the way from the US. She has to wake up as early as 4 o'clock to join this conversation because of the time difference between Nigeria and the US. Thank you so much for coming. And also thank Mr. Agbaji Chinedu, even though we were not able to hear him properly because of where he is in the far north. Thank you also for the little we got from you. And we want to thank Mr. Shehu Adegoke for making out time. He's been in the farm, even in the rain, under the rain. He's been in the farm, but he was able to make out some time to be here with us. And also, I want to thank my CEO, Mr. Kenneth Odushola Stevenson, for also joining in this conversation. Thank you so much to everyone that joined this conversation. I saw Courage Onu, I saw Yemi and other people in the conversation. Thank you so much. We will also send this message to everybody that attended after this. When we send you the video, you may also listen to it over and over again. Once again, my name is Ore Van from Natafam David Consulting. I'm the research specialist for the company and the COO also. Thank you and do have a good day. God bless.